as spiritual care and bereavement counselor in a number of clinical settings. Reverend Catherine loves music and the arts and sings in the Reno Philharmonic Choir. That was a surprise to me. I met Catherine in a group that I attend in Gardnerville on Friday evenings, so I'm so glad to invite Kathleen here. Catherine, I'll get it right. She's going to be speaking on cultivating resilience. And please push the record button, if you will, Philip.
Hi, everybody. I wish I could just zone, just keep zoning like that, but I do it a little different. But that was such a gift, that music and the prayer, and I thought, oh, now I have to say something. I was kind of just there with you all in a wonderful place. So hopefully we can keep that going in a way through the words today. And I want to thank Carol for inviting me, and all of you for welcoming me here today. I'm really grateful to be in your spiritual home with you. And I'm going to speak to you with some images and stories drawn from my experience as a hospice worker and clinical chaplain, as she mentioned, and just personal stories, and one who studied and practiced the healing arts as well. And it's on cultivating resilience is my talk today. And these are interesting times to be alive, as we say, right? Oh my goodness. We know that big things are happening, things are changing, things have changed. Life is not as it was. And we wonder what is yet to be. We adapt and change and keep digging deeper into our own sources and resourcing and tapping into our own resilience. So I hope and pray that something today, one story or one line from this poem I'm going to share, or anything, something will help you feel more grounded and whole in spirit. So I'm going to start with a poem from a woman named Joy Harjo. It's called For Calling the Spirit Back from Wandering the Earth in Its Human Feet. Put down that bag of potato chips, that white bread, that bottle of pop. Turn off that cell phone, computer, and remote control. Open the door, then close it behind you. Take a breath offered by the friendly winds. They travel the earth, gathering essences of plants to clean. Give it back with gratitude. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift to fly to the stars' ears and back. Acknowledge this earth who has cared for you since you were a dream, planting itself precisely within your parents' desire. Let your moccasined feet take you to the encampment of the guardians who have known you before time, who will be there with you after time. They sit before the fire that has been there without time. Let the earth stabilize your post-colonial insecure jitters. Be respectful of the small insects, birds, and animal people that accompany you. Ask their forgiveness for the harm that we humans have brought down upon them. Don't worry. The heart knows the way. Though there may be high rises, interstates, checkpoints, armed soldiers, massacres, and wars. And those who will despise you because they despise themselves. The journey might take you a few hours, a day, a year, a few years, 100, 1,000, or even more. Watch your mind. Without training, it might run away and leave your heart for the immense feast set by the thieves of time. Do not hold regrets. When you find your way to the circle, to the fire kept burning by the keepers of your soul, you will be welcomed. You must clean yourself with cedar, sage, or other healing plant. Cut the ties you have to failure and shame. Let go the pain you are holding in your mind. Let your shoulders, holding in your mind, your shoulders, your heart, all the way to your feet. Let go the pain of your ancestors to make way for those who are heading in our direction. Ask for forgiveness. Call upon the help of those who love you. These helpers take many forms: animal, element, bird, angel, saint, stone, or ancestor. Call your spirit back. It may be caught in corners and creases of shame, judgment, and human abuse. You must call it in a way that your spirit will want to return. Speak to it as you would to a beloved child. Welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It may return in pieces, in tatters. Gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost for so long. Your spirit will need to sleep a while after it is bathed and given clean clothes. Now you can have a party. Invite everyone you know who loves and support you. Keep room for those who have no place else to go. Make a giveaway, and remember, keep the speeches short. Then you must do this. Help the next person find their way through the dark. I love this poem from Joy Harjo. Maybe some of you have heard of her before. She's a wonderful poet, Native American poet, and she speaks of calling ourselves back and coming in and letting go of the unnecessary things so we can find this grounding in ourselves again and again. And I think the things she speaks about are not things we do just once. I think we do them, like I said, again and again in return. We get pulled out by the things of the world, and then it's time to come back in and remember who we are and the love that we are that helps us cope with all that we encounter. Gather the pieces back together again. This is one of the amazing gifts of the Spirit, of the human spirit, no matter how challenging the events or the conditions, we still return to hope and to inner resilience again and again. I know that's been a story of my life. I think it's a story of the human journey, and I'm sure every one of you have stories like this of being challenged in ways large and small, and then, thinking at times, I don't know how I'm going to keep persevering, and then we persevere. I have learned through life experiences that even through some of the most challenging moments, something is growing. So I'm going to tell you a story about my friend Naomi. My friend Naomi, here I'm very habituated to work with a script, but I've watched your people leave that behind, and I'd like to do that and see if I can remember all my points. I had a friend, Naomi, and she went into the hospital. Actually, she went for outpatient surgery. She had a cyst in this area. I still can't remember exactly what it was on, but she had a cyst. She went in for this surgery, and she did not. They kept her in the hospital because she was having some internal bleeding, not a terrible bleed, but a little bleed. And at this time, I was engaged in a chaplaincy program. There's something called clinical pastoral education for those in many traditions who are aiming to become ministers. They engage in an action and reflection model, which is very powerful. And I was doing that, an intensive 12-week program in the middle of the summer when I was in seminary. And I had also studied the healing arts. I've got a smattering of different, I'm a certified masseuse, so I'm different things. So anyway, I went to see Naomi, and but not the first day, because I was really busy and I was really tired. And I'd been working hard. And not the second day, but the third day, it was Sunday. And I decided today's the day. And I was packing my bag, and I threw my massage oil in the bag and made my way over. And when I went in to see her, there she was in the bed. And she had been pushing on this spot on her back. She had pushed on it so much that it was bruised, which was really interesting. She had something that was just stuck. And the place where she had the bleed was in this area in her abdomen. So anyway, first I just took out my oil and started on her feet, because you can get to the whole body through the feet. And it's a nice, gentle way where one doesn't have to armor herself. So I hung out with her and just kind of talked with her and was there. And people were coming in and out of the room. And her mom was there. She went off to get her a meal. And you know how it is in medical centers. Life is happening, and you do what you need to do, and everything else is going on. And I remember this cleaning lady come in the room, and she's sweeping around, and she says, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm helping my friend." And she says, "Oh, that's from the devil." And I was like, "Oh, I don't think so." I mean, I didn't argue with her, but anyway, it was out of her paradigm. And so I hung with her. I hung with her for a long time. It was a good hour that I was just with her. And eventually I went up and put my hand on the bruised place gently, and then the other hand over her abdomen. And then this most amazing thing happened. And I still, when I imagine it, I don't know if it came from within, out, or without, in. It was just this really an expanded thing that shifted the energy completely in the room. And in this place, there was no time. There was no polarity. There was the best way I can describe it is love, but love is such a limiting, I mean, it's a big word, but it doesn't quite encompass all that it was. The best I've been able to come up with is it's a fierce love, like the kind of love that binds atoms together. Nothing sentimental or hallmark. And of course, love's a multivalent word. It has lots of meanings, but this was about the biggest I could ever imagine, and it was the biggest I had ever touched. So there was, as I said, a profound unity there. and this kind of love that binds atoms together. And it was calling the pieces back together again. And after being in this spacious zone beyond time, my consciousness returned to the room. I excused myself and I went into the restroom and washed my hands and looked in the mirror and went, what was that? you know, and, just even asking myself, because I had not had this experience quite like that. Then I returned to my friend, and first she said she got mad at me. She said, why didn't you come sooner? And I said, oh, well, today was the right day. And any of you who work with the healing arts, there's a ripeness about time and when things happen. And then she cried and told me she'd been scared, and I affirmed her feelings. And I said, I know. I mean, I really could understand that. And then I said, and you will go home tomorrow. And I was like, where'd that come from? But it just popped out of me, one of those. And then she ate. The internal bleed had stopped, and she went home the next day. It's an emblematic story of my life. After that happened, I was like, oh, I want to do that again and again and again. And it hasn't ever happened exactly like that. I mean, I know what happened, and that is a part of my interior landscape and paradigm, my own, but never happened exactly like that. But resting in this space was a place to draw in some sort of essence of creation. And I believe we're all able to do this, to bring this in, this very big fullness. So later I was talking to a healer friend unpacking this experience, and I said, once you've touched that place, how can you ever be afraid again? And she says, oh, you forget. So, a space of unity, a unified field, source of life, source of healing here, and always present, always near. Some spiritual leaders say that we are in the midst of a profound evolution right now. They say we're ready for a huge leap. Different terms are used, but they all speak of an expanding consciousness, moving from a dualistic sense of reality into a unity awareness. I want to believe this, and I move in and out of this knowing. I commit to grow the very best I can in the midst of all that's going on right now around us and within us in this moment in time. I'm not perfect at this, that's for sure, but I am dedicated to being a spiritual warrior in support of resilience, for a spiritual warrior for the planet Earth, on behalf of myself, and for all those who feel wounded, scared, or broken. Here, one spiritual leader speaks of this change and some things that can help us to heal and shift. And this is from a local shaman, Denise Sheehan, who has a Sky Spirit Shaman School out north of Reno. The shift is meant to be a slow process, otherwise it would be even more chaotic and devastating. So we will have to learn patience and presence even when we want things to be better on the outside now. To see injustices corrected, to see everyone thriving more fully, to enter the fifth world of peace as foretold in prophecy. Here's the thing. Each of us has the power to step into the new paradigm in this now, to transcend duality, to enter unity consciousness. Even without knowing how, we are on our way. The tricky part is that we each have our own portals and timelines. This will get you started from wherever you are. Follow your heart and your inner spiritual wisdom in each moment. Your mind will give you all kinds of excuses of why not to choose love, because it's afraid of losing control. Learning to witness that is better than believing it. Trust that everything in your experience, all the highs and lows, are all here to serve you on your path. Do your shadow work, making your unconscious conscious so you can stop harming others in the name of self-protection. Prioritize your own healing and know that your healing contributes to the healing of all that is. What you love in yourself, you love on behalf of us all. As you step more fully into your empowerment, peace, and love, your energetic ripples all help us all to cross over into this new world. So I hunker down. I watch my mind. I guard myself from entertaining thoughts that are non-productive. I unearth old patterns that speak to me of less than love, and I love them. I believe that there is beauty unfolding, powerful forces through the good, even through what may look like destruction and suffering. I'm not callous to the suffering. I witness it with compassion, and I offer my service for healing in my own place. But I believe there is unity, fierce love, and wholeness at the core of our existence. And I hold this space for myself and for others. I reach for powers and forces beyond me to align with. As Harjo said, I sing it to give my spirit lift to fly to the stars' ears and back. This amplifies all that I hold fast to that is sacred and good. Miracles happen. Intuition opens and makes way for a larger, brighter space for us all. I don't have to know. I don't have to fix. I do have to keep learning how to love both myself, another, and this crazy world. As Joy Harjo says, the heart knows the way. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kat. That was wonderful. Words of wisdom, to be sure. Thanks. Philip, if you could find the right button, could you show us who the folks are on Zoom today so we can say hello? Oh, we've got a full crew. Hello, everyone. Welcome on Zoom. I'm glad you didn't miss this little speech either. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Uh-oh. Are we on? We have a welcome packet for anyone who's here for the first time and would like one. If you would like one, please put your hand up and Donna would be very happy to hand you one. If you're interested in knowing what is happening here at Unity of the Lake, we have a wonderful newsletter that is put out every Wednesday by Phyllis. It's excellent. And what you would do is go to our website, unity.org. Wait a minute. Getting there. unityathelake.org, and click on the weekly update and then subscribe. I do have a couple of announcements. One is an event that is current, Reverend Hillary's weekly class, which is called Compassionate Communication, continues this coming Thursday here at Unity. Please note the time change to Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 8. And this week we'll be focusing on listening with the ears of our heart. All are welcome, and it's available for a love offering with 50% going to Unity at the Lake. Now, we have not had a drum circle here for a long time, and we used to have one every so often and totally enjoy it. Next week, after our Sunday celebration, Reverend Lucy King is holding a sacred circle honoring summer. It's very close to the solstice. And this is a workshop with a suggested love offering of $20. It begins at 11:30, pretty much right after our service. And it will end sometime before or at 1. It just depends. So remember to bring your drums and maybe a snack to tide you over until after we're done. And right now, I invite you to prepare a love offering, along with any prayer slips that you might have filled out. And you folks on Zoom can donate to Unity through our website. And Juliet, I invite you up to Kathleen, sorry, surprise. Invite you up to, well, you're right there, front and center, to lead us in our love offering and prayer.
So if you would like to hold any offerings and prayer slips in your hand at this time, and we say the offering blessing together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Just an extra little voice from God. All right. Well, at this time, we just take a moment to remember the wholeness, the divinity, the truth of who each of us are, each person who might be on our prayer slips. And we create this sacred container to hold this truth for anyone who might need some special prayer, some special love at this time in their lives. A container full of light and love and wisdom and blessings. So I invite those here, those on Zoom, to just speak aloud the names of those who might be on your heart, or situations that might be on your heart at this time. Jackie and Bob, Kevin and Megan. Ramona. And we know that each of these people has within them everything they need. The guidance from Spirit, the innate healing, truth, knowledge within our bodies and minds. And that they're surrounded, buoyed up by love, supported by the universe, held in their wholeness. For this, we're so very grateful. And for all these offerings, offerings of love and abundance, creating good right here at Unity at the Lake, right here in our community, offering up all the possibilities to share love and goodness. And so it is. Amen.
So next week, our speaker will be Reverend Lucy King. It is Father's Day, and she will be speaking on, quote, in celebration of the divine masculine, unquote, which is something we all hold. So that